Hi, image manipulation. How you guys doing? Welcome to Milestone 2. All right, so let's go back and take a look and review. Let's go ahead and take a look at Milestone 1. So we had the letter of introduction. I think that was self-explanatory. There's no need to go through that, right? Skill building, working with selections. Guys, so many people. I hope you guys had a chance to do this, but it's I know a lot of people submitted the exercise, just the textbook exercise version. And don't forget, we have these, once you've completed the lesson, make the following additional changes to the document. So this points really to specificity in project specifications. Specificity and specifications. Boy, that's a mouthful. Anyways, what I'm saying is that this is very typical in graphic design, where you really have to read the entire spec sheet, because if you don't read the entire spec sheet head to toe, it's like not reading it. If you miss one little detail in a spec sheet in a professional setting, you'll probably, well, you will hear about it from your art director. So it's really super important that you get your specs and you really make yourself familiar with them. Sometimes it takes reading through 2 or 3 times. And plus, of course, you can always ask questions. You guys know me by the first week. I mean, I'm right Johnny on the spot when it comes to questions for the professor and any kind of questions you guys pose. Pretty good about getting right back to you. So keep that in mind. All right, so that was working with selection. So you guys got that in. Em1 Task 3 was our caricature thumbnails. And I want to talk about that a little bit, just in the respect that there's a couple of things here. Here's video tutorials. So here's that creating. I know it's kind of difficult to see. It's buried under there, but that's a link right there, guys. Creating multi-page PDF file. So if during module 1 you were asked to resubmit according to the specifications of the video tutorial, creating a multi-page PDF file. That's what I'm talking about. So again, in a professional setting in graphic design, you would never submit to a client or an art director a multi-page, multiple files. You would always submit a multi-page file for presentation. So that way you're the person who you're interested in seeing the work doesn't have to open and close 6, 7, 8 files or however many you include. In this case, I think it was 4. Excuse me. So, okay, so I hope that makes sense. Yeah, and those of you who have submitted already, that's awesome. I think most people got a lot of comments back. I just want to mention something, guys. Now, over here on discussion board, you guys, everybody submitted. Now, every one of these responses in yellow, these are all my responses, and they all have videos in them. Excuse me one second. Excuse me. They all have videos in them. So, and this is a public forum, guys. So that means you're free to go in here and look at all these videos for your students and your peers. And quite certainly, for sure, a lot of the comments that are made in their work is going to be applicable to your work as well. So it's a great way to get ideas to move forward in a project. It really is. So those of you who do that, great job. Continue doing so. Those of you who don't, feel free. Please, I encourage you to jump in and take a look at each other's response posts. Not only mine, but your classmates' posts as well. You can learn a lot from critique, a lot. So really keep that in mind. Okay, M1 final submission, that's due Wednesday tonight, which is, I shouldn't say that like that. I'm making this video tonight. You guys won't see it till Thursday morning. But at any rate, that's why I said tonight. So anyways, that's due. Now let's jump over to Milestone 2. Let's see what we have in store for Milestone 2. Here's our boss right here. He's going to talk to you a little bit and talk about the project. Basically, just going over what's due this week. And so let's do this. This is really super important. That's why I'm kind of pausing on this for a second. I want you guys to take a look at this, and I just want to show you where I'm at. Milestone 2 Layer Basics Image Collection. Right down here, please pay attention to this. It's really super important that you guys cite your work. Really important, okay? It's critical because you have to learn to do it now because you have to do it the rest of your career. So please get used to that now. Okay, so you have your learning activities. Really good stuff this year, man. This year. Where did that come from? Good stuff this week. Really good stuff. So if we jump right into our learning activities, you can see you've got all of this stuff, and these are all fantastic tutorials. So you guys have a lot this week, but please take your time. It's very, very important. And these tutorials are all done very well. So, I mean, we go through quite a bit here. So, it's incumbent on you guys as students to go through every one of these. Note that these are all required. Okay, so I will be checking to see if you've looked in on these and watching them and spent time in here. It'll be obvious too by your work. Now, if you have any questions in here at all in any one of these, feel free to let me know, and I'll be glad to answer any questions or concerns, any clarification that might come up. Or anything best practices. Is this a good thing to do, or will this work, or is this considered a good or bad practice in the professional field? I'll be glad to let you know. Okay, and I can give you firsthand tips also, because I can let you know exactly what I allow in my own studio, what I allow my designers to do. And so any questions there, I think it's really important for you guys to make those connections between what we're doing in the class and how it relates to the real world, specifically how your position as a designer relates to the course objectives and the class objectives and the project outcomes. Okay, that's pretty important. Okay, so let's just jump over here to M2 task overview. So take a look at those, and here's your tasks right here. So M2 task 1 is layer basics, and again, guys, look, you've got your videos. There's 3 of them here. I know that there's 1, 2, 3. So take a look at all 3 of them. Okay. Now pay attention to your project specs. Okay, there may be in here, and there may be in subsequent assignments, additional tasks like there was in week 1. I think it's important for you to take a look through this and see and determine what is exactly expected and what is exactly supposed to be delivered. And of course, guys, please don't forget you have your examples over here. The one thing I want to say about this is you have to add an image here. Try to make the image have something to do with this tropical scene, Hawaii. Okay, it's, you know, I mean, I've had people put like an F-18 or those Thunderbirds or those airplanes that fly around the shows. One person put that in, and I was like, where did that come from? I don't see it fitting anywhere. So I just thought I'd share that with you. Okay, how do I get out of this thing? Oh, there we go. All right, so that is M1 Task 1. Okay, and please note your due dates, guys. Dropped in Dropbox by Friday the 19th. Okay, and then you have you'll get your feedback. Remember, in Dropbox, you drop that in like that exercise. You drop it in there. I give you feedback. Okay, then you can read the feedback, and then you take the feedback and apply it to the final submission, which is due later on. So you don't have to resubmit in the feedback area, because that's going to go to final for grading anyways. Okay, hope that makes sense. If not, let me know. All right, and then M1 Task 2 is the image collection for the caricature. Now again, this is where that comes in, that you have to cite your sources, and this is pretty good right here. This video is pretty good. It shows how this thing gets put together. So it's really a good video for you to watch, and your steps for success. I think this steps for success is really a roadmap in every week. So be sure to take a look at those every week. One thing I want to talk about right here with these guys right here. Now, I talked a little bit in week 1 about adding movement to your creatures. So in other words, and little interesting things. Okay, what makes this sketch successful? I'll tell you why. See the 3/4 angle? See how the 3/4 angle is not facing? Remember, I use this example in a lot of the hands out like this and the feet dangling out the bottom like that, where the character's just looking at the camera like this. You know what I mean? So is that interesting? No. So this is interesting, and more interesting, because you got this arm coming out down here. You got this arm coming up here. It's holding something. It's got a different kind of hand. It's got this little diaper pin here and this little kind of thing coming out of it, like a catheter looking thing. It's really strange and eerie and kind of freaky. Then you got this leg over here with this perspective, and then this perspective on this leg. So you have these different kind of perspectives going on, adding this really cool movement to this creature. And then to boot, he's got this head. It's a spirograph, and it's kind of tilted to the side. So imagine the things you can do with this in terms of placing it in a background or creating a background for it. You could put it in a roller rink. You could put it in a paintball arena. You could put it just about anywhere with a background that would fit in. These are the images that were made. Some of the images that were used or considered, I shouldn't say used, but some of these images were considered in these. Now, as you can see, they weren't the final choices, obviously, because that perspective right there is not used anywhere. Okay, so just understand that these aren't the exact images used. Okay, and then the other, and then check your final submission. And then that's really all I have. I want to keep this under 10 minutes, and I'm already over that, so I'm not cut it right here. But if you guys, listen, if you have any questions, comments, concerns at all, I don't mind making videos, doing tutorials. Oh, speaking of tutorials, over in the announcements area, let's jump over there real quick, because I placed this tutorial in here, how to increase contrast in your sketches. And that's simply if you're sketching your work and you're shooting it with your phone, sometimes you get really bad contrast. That's really super difficult to see your sketches. So what you want to do is just put it in Photoshop, do a quick levels adjustment layer, increase the contrast so that when you do place it, everything's visible. All right, that's what I have for Welcome to Milestone 2, guys. Any questions, comments, concerns, or other, I'm right here. Please let me know. All right, see you guys in discussion board. Thanks.